Hi, I'm Bob Eaglestone. I'm Professor of Contemporary Literature and Thought here at Royal Holloway, University of London, and I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about Ishiguro's novel Never Let Me Go. Ishiguro, a Nobel Prize winner, a fantastic writer, and all his novels are about the complex relationships between history, guilt and complicity in difficult, complicated ways, making us face things that we're complicit with, perhaps without even knowing. And let's look at the very first line of Never Let Me Go. My name is Kathy H. I'm 31 years old. I've been a carer now for over 11 years. That sounds long enough, I know. But actually they want me to go on for another 8 months, until the end of the year. These first two sentences encode the whole novel of Never Let Me Go. Why H and no full name? The word sounds strange and euphemistic. Carer seems more than simply a job description. And of course, as the novel goes on, words like carer and donor and student we recognise, and completed actually, we recognise these are normal words that have been twisted by the world of Never Let Me Go into something really horrible. Also in that beginning sentence, the they and the conversational tags, I know, and the saying, oh, until the end of the year, that fixes us, the reader, as someone in conversation with her, someone complicit, someone who knows. Okay, it must be April when she's talking, because it's 8 months until the end of the year. These are things we're supposed to know. And she clearly knows what long enough means. Long enough for what? Who are they? Okay, so just that first sentence tells us all sorts of things. And a novel, as it carries on, tells us all about complicity. It's about the involvement of people to be complicit in their own destruction. As you know, the secret of Never Let Me Go is that the narrator and all her friends are clones. And the clones are then harvested for their organs and then murdered. It's a huge medical genocide that is not even hidden from the world. It's hidden in plain sight. And everybody in the novel is complicit with this genocide. Okay? What's the impact of this? What's the impact of this complicity? First, there's an unbridgeable divide between the clones, who are basically human, and the normal humans. Quite early on in the novel, Kathy and her friends play a trick on a visitor to the school they're at. They all rush her. I see it now, she says. The shudder she seemed to be suppressing, the real dread that one of us would accidentally brush against her. She was afraid of us in the same way someone might be afraid of spiders. There's this visceral revulsion of humans for the clones. And even though Kathy says, oh, carers aren't machines, they are discussed as what and not who by others and by themselves. So first, this bridge. And this bridge has other effects too. The clones have no money, they have no freedom, they're not allowed to have sex, they're not allowed to smoke, they're not really allowed possessions, they're like an underclass. And the second thing that comes from this, perhaps one of the worst things, is that clones are passive, they're sort of brainwashed into complicity with their own destruction. That's what we're supposed to be doing, isn't it? One of them says. We were created for this purpose. The euphemism to complete, meaning to die or to be murdered in fact, just covers up this genocide with a perfectly normal kind of word. So third, the clones' view of themselves, okay, is twisted and contorted. They feel, one of them, Ruth, feels that she's rubbish, she's just excrement. One of them, Kathy's sort of closest friend, Tommy, has his wild, uncontrollable rages because he knows that he's just going to be used as a living organ bank for the other humans. Okay, but they let that happen to them. The fourth consequence is, if you like, the intellectual version of that. The clones, they both know and not know what's happening to them. The clones know about what's going to happen to us one day, donations and all that. But in a way, they understand, they've been told it, but they don't understand it. Or they understand it, but they don't respond to it. They're kind of brainwashed. It's hiding in plain sight. It's complicit. The victims are complicit as well as the perpetrators. And this really is the fifth and worst consequence, the active complicity of the victims in their own murder. The whole world is fitted so that these people go willingly to their own deaths. The fourth and usually final donation is a moment of congratulations. White coats, not even named as people, put aside their revulsion, even shake the clone's hand. But Kathy goes on, and again she's drawing us, the readers, into complicity. You'll have heard the same talk, she says. How maybe after the fourth donation, even if you're technically completed, dead, you're still conscious in some sort of way. How then you find out there are more donations, plenty of them, on the other side of that line. And how there are no more recovery centres, no carers, no friends. How there's nothing to do except watch your remaining donations until they switch you off. It's horror movie stuff. And most of the time people don't want to think about it. Not the white coats, not the carers, and usually not the donors. Kathy knows this happens with her 11 years of caring. But in a conversation with Tommy, the most intimate person in her life, she describes this as rubbish. So even with the person she's closest to, she can't tell them the truth. So these are some of the ways in which this astonishing novel, really gently but really firmly, draws out the power and the horror of complicity all the way through. Okay? And sometimes we think of the Never Let Me Go, of her dancing with the doll, as being a sort of plea, reflection of her humanity. But it also works exactly the same way, showing that she's never going to be let go. She's held not just in chains or in fences, but by her own mind in the complicity with this appalling genocide. And that's what Ishiguro is trying to make us think about, I think, in this novel. Thank you.